It's strange how something as simple as a sound can shift the way I exist in a moment. Not suddenly, not in a dramatic way, more like something inside rearranges itself quietly, without asking for permission or explanation. I don't always notice immediately. Sometimes it takes a few seconds, maybe a minute, before I realize something has changed slightly. Not better, not worse, just different somehow. I could be doing something simple, washing dishes, organizing something small, nothing that really demands much from me. Then I put in something on almost automatically, not thinking too much about what I close, not thinking too much about what I choose. And then there's that subtle check. It either fits or it doesn't quite land. And when it doesn't, it's not exactly discomfort, more like a quiet misalignment inside. Like something is just slightly off. Not enough to stop everything, but enough to stay present in the background, pulling my attention back to it again and again without urgency. So I change it, not out of rejection, but because in that moment it doesn't match where I am internally, and the difference becomes noticeable when it does fit. Though there's no clear sign, no moment where I think this is it. Things just begin to settle into place, almost if nothing needs to be adjusted anymore. My thoughts stop overlapping so much. They don't disappear, they just stop competing with each other, each one taking its own place, without forcing attention in different directions. It's not silence, but it carries something close to organization. Like everything finds its own path, and I don't need to interfere it. It continues on its own, naturally. And it's never about genre, at least not in a fixed way. I can't really say I prefer one thing over another consistently, because it shifts with me all the time. Sometimes something softer, more spacious, with pauses between the notes, feels like the only thing that works. Anything more present, more defined, starts to feel excessive, almost intrusive. Other times I need something with movement, something that carries a bit more direction, not necessarily to calm down, but to align with a different kind of momentum. Neither feels better than the other. They just correspond to different internal states, ones that don't really repeat exactly, even if externally the situation looks the same. Internally, it never quite is. I notice I don't just let things play. There's always some level of awareness there. Not analytical, not forced, just a kind of sensitivity that keeps adjusting things in the background. I don't sit there thinking about frequencies or trying to define what I'm hearing. It happens faster than that, more like a response, something immediate, almost physical. Sometimes sometimes a sound feels too sharp, too present in a way that cuts through. It's not just something I hear. It feels like it reaches further in, touching something that wasn't meant to be touched. And I can't ignore that. It doesn't stay on the surface. It shifts something inside, not violently, but enough to break the continuity I had. So I adjusted again, not searching for something perfect, just something that doesn't interfere, something that lets me remain where I was already going internally. There are moments where the sound feels deeper, less about melody, more about presence, almost like it carries weight, not heavy in a negative no, not heavy in a negative sense, but grounded in a way that feels stable. Those moments are different. They don't make me feel lighter exactly. They make me feel still, not frozen, not static, just steady in a very quiet way. It's difficult to explain without exaggerating. It's not a emotional reaction, not happiness, not sadness, not even calm in the usual sense. It's something more neutral than like everything unnecessary fades slightly, not disappearing completely, just losing intensity until what remains feels simple and enough on its own. That's probably the closest I get to I'd call peace, but not a light or fragile kind, not something that depends on conditions, something more self-contained, I think. It doesn't need to be maintained actively. It doesn't feel like it could break easily. It just exists while I don't interfere. While I don't try to change it or question too much. And then there are other moments where I choose something more active, something with rhythm, with direction, something that pulls me outward a bit more instead of inward. That has its place too. It creates movements, a sense of forward motion, less space for reflection, more space for doing what needs to be done. I don't see this as opposite anymore. They're just different configurations, different ways my mind organizes itself. Depends on what I allow in and what I'm already carrying inside. Music becomes something like an interference, like a interface, not something I consume passively, but something I interact with constantly. Through small choices, small adjustments, most of them happening without words. That's why it's hard to explain preference. It's not fixed, it doesn't stay in one place long enough. It shifts with subtle changes, something within minutes. Even within the same artist, one piece aligns, another doesn't. Not because one is better, but because one meets me where I am, and the other doesn't quite reach that point. I learned that trust. I've learned to trust that more, and the instinct to skip, to change, to adjust. It's not indecision. It's just sensitivity to something real, something that becomes clearer with attention. And the more I notice, the easier it becomes to recognize. Not through explanation, but through a kind of familiarity, like returning to something I already know. Sometimes I wonder if the sounds is changing me, or if it's only revealing what was already present just unnoticed before. Because the state feels familiar. Even when the music is new, like I'm not discovering something external, but recognizing something internal through a different form. And once that state settles, the music itself becomes secondary. It's still there, but it's no longer the focus. It becomes part of the background. What remains is the way I feel within, the way I move, the way I think, or sometimes the way I don't think as much, just continuing without effort. And I stay there for a while, not holding on to it, not trying to extend it artificially, just allowing it. to last for as long as it naturally does. Then eventually it shifts again, sometimes slowly, sometimes almost without notice, and I return to adjust quietly without much thought. There's no final point to reach here, no ideal state that stays permanent, no ideal state that stays permanently, just variations, small changes in how everything feels, moment to moment. And maybe that's enough not to define it completely, not to turn into something rigid, something just to stay aware or of how it moves within me and how I move with it without forcing anything, just noticing when it fits and when it doesn't.